Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spin Rack. We also have,
Calvin Ellis, ready to rock.
and we have someone sitting in. He's like going to be our. It says it's Mars, but it's actually someone watching us and going to review us, and they're going to, talk about how our performance is. It's not actually Mars here, but we're going to look at the teaser for the third episode, and then just talk about it in general to see what you guys are going to get next, and then we'll just talk about what we've seen so far with Aliens. So ready, set, and
You're on my ship. The ship belongs to me now.
On this ground to break new life forms with acid for blood.
I'm gonna get them back. We're trying to contain an alien invasion.
So Wendy's just out there with all these things? Joe?
now, sight unseen, you see this teaser, you haven't seen the series. Are you jumping to see what's going on in this show, Cal?
No, no,
Okay.
not really. No.
Expect that answer. But
Not based on this teaser.
mhm,
Okay, based on the trailer that they had out some months ago,
yeah.
leading up to this. Yes,
Mhm.
I saw it. I saw it on. I think I saw the trailer on Hulu, and I think I also saw it in the theaters. So based on that, because at first I thought it was a movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was a movie, and then when I realized this is a series, I was like, oh wow! I was like, the effects are really good, and it looks like they've got a nice extended story to tell. So I was like, okay, so based on that, I was like, yeah, I do want to see it. Okay, but if it was just based on this trailer, I'd be like, nah, I'm okay. I'll wait.
Well, so far they have two episodes out. Um, the first one clearly setting up what they shown in the trailer, that this ship that was gathering things crash lands on Earth, which of course would lead to the alien getting loose. But surprisingly, the way they're pacing it, at least in the first two episodes, is that there's not much time in between episodes so far. But in the first episode, they kind of set up a lot of things. They set up some of the characters and the things we'll be seeing, like not only synthetic people, but cyborgs and possibly another thing. But when you get to, I think in the first episode, you get to see that they're going to have a whole bunch of other creatures, which goes into this phenomenon that always happens in these stories. Like I think we didn't talk on the show
Yeah, yeah. I got a problem. I got a problem with that.
with the other creatures.
Yeah, because after a while, it's like you guys are stupid. It's
Yeah,
like, is there any creature you guys can find that's not 100% deadly?
yeah,
Literally. And it's not just like it's not like it's deadly to an alien, but we're okay. Every single thing they find is deadly to a human being on contact.
hmm
On contact. Like, why would you want to bring this stuff back? You're not gonna have control over it. You get the little they always got some creepy crawly thing slithering on you. It's in your brain. It's like everything you guys find is 100% deadly and always deadly to a human being. You can't find anything else.
yeah. They take on the parasitic thing to the nth level in different ways in this series. When we have, regretfully, people forget that they like sitting in the room saying, "Well, they're not gonna just want to see this alien. Like, who's gonna want to just see that? We need to see."
Me, I'll be
Yeah,
fine. I don't need to see anything else. Just me. Aliens
yeah.
that, aren't aliens enough trouble?
That's the
Aren't aliens enough trouble? Do we really need? Do we really? How much trouble do we need?
this is the thing. And the fact that we know things that the characters in the movies don't know is the other hook which aliens played out. It's like, hey, these guys don't know. The only problem is that we have Prometheus that said that these companies are looking for extending life. Like with the alien, with the acid and armor, armor coated alien, how do you get yeah, the fact is that they can recreate and further on, but that's like almost like a DNA level of your DNA and you wanting to reproduce. That's not, someone trying to extend their life, but somehow Prometheus turned it into how do we extend life? But they already did that with the androids that seemingly can't die unless they're cut in half and whatnot. So there's a lot of weird things that they're trying to play up. But at the same time, I think the first one, which wasn't my cup of tea of the first episode, was that they did try to make it as much like the first movie as they could. They really tried to put in as much of that as they could. The only problem is you're casting an interesting looking, black guy, but he can't compare to Yaphet Kotto. You're not gonna get anyone it's interesting looking as who was Sigourney
I
Weaver.
dislike that guy on sight.
Who on the new yeah. Yeah, that's what I was so out of it immediately. And I was just like
As soon as I saw him, I was like, yeah, he's dirty.
yeah. So it's like when you had a person who's similar looking in Yaphet Kotto, but just in a kind of like rough look. But Yaphet Kotto had humor to him. He was, even though he's the biggest, more aggressive than anyone else. He had a humor side to him when they're at the dinner table. There's so much to him, and this guy, as good as he might be somewhere else, he's not giving us as much as he just plain old corporate bad guy. And they had other interesting looking people, but they're trying to go too far interesting when you have to remember the guy, who was it? The guy who played the captain, he could be definitely, he's been a leading man in different things, but he was pulling back for the story they were telling, so and the actor who played the partner to Yaphet Kotto, he's been in everything. The guy who leads the thing, the British actor who gets the alien pops out in the original stuff. These guys are people that people wanted to use all the time. I'm pretty sure the people in that initial cast are not going to be people you're going to remember, but they have, was it Timothy Olyphant, who's a synthetic guy. You have this weird guy who's obviously, who it is, but they're bringing up a whole bunch of other stuff. And the second one's a little more like trying to have a bit of the aliens in it, but not as much fun as Aliens. But they do try to pull some of those things out of it, and they have a lot of violence and alien run around. But what were your thoughts on the first episode? Since we already looked at the trailer for this, what were your thoughts besides the lead guy obviously being evil as anything? What were your thoughts?
Oh, well, I like the setup where we're in a future now where these guys they've mastered the prolonging of life.
Mm-hmm.
They've mastered the prolonging of life because now they've got it to the point if you have a terminal illness, okay, we can transfer. So seemingly we can transfer your consciousness to this android synthetic body at the end of the day. But it's got to be an adult body because synthetic bodies don't grow. So you got the kids and you got the kids going over to these bodies. I did find it interesting that when you see the kids look one way and the bodies look totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a little girl. She might have been a little ginger-haired girl, even though she was going bald. And then when she gets put into the new body, she looks like she's half Japanese. So I'm like, I'm not sure what this is about. I was like, I'm really not sure what this. I was like, you couldn't make an adult body where she still looked like maybe a grown-up girl like she would have looked. But I was like, okay, we got actors here who got to act, right? So, and then it becomes to the point like, all right, I guess it's a humanity question. Do you really care what you're going to look like if you're going to be in this new body and you're not going to have illness and you're not going to be sick and you're, of course, going to be strong and all of these other things that will come along with it. So, that aspect comes into play. Then we get to the ship. And once we got to the ship, I was like, is this going to be the same thing I've seen before? Yes, it will. As soon as we got there, the people started waking up and they started showing the different thing. Like, something goes bad with the ship. One of these guys is dirty. Who is it? Yeah, you. It's you. You're the dirty one. I can tell just by looking at you, you're dirty. So, the whole thing goes, and then the whole thing goes to hell. But this guy's not a synthetic. He's a cyborg.
Yeah.
That means he's human. He's human. He just, has cybernetics within his body. And what he did to those two guys when he was like up against the pipe, handcuff yourself, knowing that there's deadly stuff in there, I was like, wow, this guy's just really evil. He's just evil. And I already said it, where you look, and then of course, that these guys are not going to make it because the things they have on the ship, they got the little stuff they had to deal with was enough to take them out, let alone the alien. So you already know that they're not going to make it. But just that scene right there was for me was pretty brutal because anybody else who's set up the human beings for the most part was somebody who was attached to the company like a bean counter, but not somebody who was like, okay, I'm on the ship and I'm one of these guys. I'm an actual human being. It was always like a synthetic or something. But when that guy did that, I was just like, wow, I think that's the most evil I've seen these guys get to this point. So I can't wait for him to see some come up. It's already got a character like, yeah, I want to see you get it. When you die, I will be happy.
Well, one of the things when you talk about that scene with the Marines, I was thinking about that was it, right? When they tied him up. Is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
he forces them to tie themselves up.
That was because they were trying to hint at they say that the one in Aliens where they were like criminal Marines, they're working off some of the things that they did, and I was just like, one of the odd things in the movie is like if you're like a tough, know that the person's gonna kill you, like like, oh, now I'm hostage, you got the gun on me. I always think of when I was a kid and this tough guy. Well, we were down in the basement. He put us all in the boiler room, and I was like, I can't stay in there. So I did everything I could to get out of there. If they got a gun on you, you know it's gonna kill you. Why do you go down? Just kill me. Take it. I can't not doing it. Don't tie me up. And who's you don't know who's gonna come get you. You say, yeah, okay, there's other Marines. They'll come find us. Or I know
that's a good point. It's like if I'm going to end up dead anyway, what are you telling me to secure myself for? Just kill me.
Yeah.
No, they didn't know. Remember, they don't know about the alien presence. The cyborg did, and he should have. The question is, why would he just, like I said, why not just kill him? Remember, there's these corporations are fighting each other, right? So the corporation that owns the ship is a different corporation of the Marines that got on the ship, right? So you have that whole component there. So the corporation is trying to get, I think it's Prodigy, that's trying to find out what's on this ship and trying to utilize it. They're coming in, and you have the cyborg and his people. That dude was horrible, man. That dude was horrible. I don't know what else to say. At first I thought he was a synth, but they said he was a cyborg, but no emotion, bro. None at all.
Yeah, he kind of a cyborg, but at the same time he has less emotion than any synthetic that we've seen, so it's kind of weird. Or maybe it's just that's how the actor's playing it. So, like, okay, I'm playing it like an android, or the cyborgs lose a lot of their humanity. Who knows? We've seen so many.
No, you don't. I mean, I'm not trying to get at you like that, but you don't lose your humanity because you get
humanity. Because you get these cool knives and whatever in between his hands.
If that's the case, you don't lose your humanity. If that was the case, we would get if anybody got a prosthetic hand, we'd be terrified. Like, oh no, it's gonna happen again.
You see how much power he had. I mean, he was a security officer, and so the whole team, when they were getting together and they were talking, they were having good jokes. He would be the one who make the final decision on what's going to happen, who would do what. I was like, this is not typical. Usually the captain is the one running it, but he's saying, no, this is what we're going to do. Because, it's a company. The company's running it. Security officer, he's the one in charge of it.
Well, so I think, going back to it, they try to throw in, especially in the second one, a lot of weird kind of monsters, which you saw in this trailer. And I don't need that. We have a cool monster. Maybe it's cheaper to do their funky aliens, but they just come out to creepy, as I think you said, Cal, creepy, crawly, weird stuff. When we got the aliens, we got cyborgs now. We got these, and that's the thing. I was also, when they showed you the cancer patients becoming synthetic people, that was interesting. The only thing is like the rest of them kind of are synthetics from like a Gap ad, like this girl here. It's like, wow, this, and then the black guy is a knucklehead. He got a bad part. The black guy that got the kid who got turned and said he's running around like a little kid, and the rest of them have this wide-eyed Gap commercial look. And it's like, why can't the black kid be the cool Gap guy too? Like, no, he has to be. Huh?
Well, somebody's got
bad programming.
It's his own consciousness. How can your own consciousness be bad programming? Hey, look, I just took that up to, hey, somebody's got to die, right? So, we know who's.
Oh man.
We know who's going to be on the chopping block.
He's a red shirt.
we already know how that's gonna shake out.
No, this wasn't.
No, my thing is that the aliens are. We've seen enough of these movies. We know how dangerous the aliens are, and they're dangerous in a trifold manner. Because one, it's just a fight an alien itself. It's strong, it's fast, it's vicious. And then two, if you do damage it, because its blood is acid, you could, even though you're damaging it, it can still damage you in the same breath. And then the last one is like, okay, they don't kill you. They don't kill you initially. They take you so they can incubate more of them, and then they replicate, and they replicate so quickly. They replicate so quickly when they do. So that's why this thing is so bad. That's why this thing is so bad at the end of the day. So it's enough to have to deal with them because you only need one. All you need is one of those things to be successful, and before you know it, you're overrun. We've never, the only time we see anything that can really contend with them toe to toe is like the Predator. And even then, the Predator, they don't give you like 50, 60 Predators to go after the alien because we know that the Predators, would just overwhelm them. They're that good. It's usually just one or two of them at in the second movie. It was just one. They just, they just sent one to take them out. So that's how cool the Predators are. But they come over here and they always bring this thing back. They have no precautions. They have, they don't have any contingency for dealing with this thing. Like they've never heard of it. Like there's no documentation for anybody encountering one of these xenomorphs. Nothing. And then they always escape. They always implant like everybody. Now there's 6 or 7 of them running around. It's hard enough to kill one for a human being, and they overrun. That's usually the alien story. But now we're gonna come over here and we're gonna add the little the parasitic caterpillars that can just crawl on you and get in your ear. All this nastiness. I'm like, it's bad enough to have to deal with them. It's like literally in this future, in this type of Earth, everything is against you. Everything. The synthetics are against you. The aliens are against you. The cyborgs are against you. The little caterpillars are against you. After a while, for me, it's like enough. Something's got to be on our side, right? Something, right?
Well, yeah. So having all this stuff that can kill you, and kind of having the, the black dude from the ship kind of be the character who is like he gets a good karma. Like he can, even when he's in a bad situation, stuff goes his way. And I like saying I don't like having too many characters like that we need to survive because he's the bad guy. We can do some worse stuff later, and then we say, oh, he finally, like Ben from Lost. He finally got his after how many episodes? That's not karma. He finally got his at in the end.
No. Don't you be, all right? Because
we hear somebody. Here we go. So yeah, we don't want to. I don't. You can't have your characters totally. Your bad guys totally free from karma or any kind of backtrack or bulletproof is a better way to say it. But he's like he got to drop on the Marines. He got caught out there, but then he got some luck. So when the bad guys get a whole lot of luck, I don't like scenes like that. But when we see the alien, it's been fun. So, and I haven't seen the kids or the android kids go up against the alien, but it could be just like Bishop. Like Bishop didn't last too long against the alien, but they might try to add something. But the more you give to the kids, the less the aliens look threatening. So you have to remember, you can't have the kids kind of tossing the alien around because they have super strength and all that stuff. You can show them one.
Give the main character I forgot her name. What's her name? The girl. Didn't they give her like
2 names, right? Doesn't she have 2 names?
Didn't they give her like enhanced powers or abilities?
Yeah, she has speed and that.
Compared to, so she already has some of that stuff. So we're gonna see those. I mean, because he's the main protagonist. My only problem that I like it so far. It's slow. It's a slow burn at the moment. But the only problem I have so far is that I don't like them putting little kids and then putting them in adult bodies and then putting them in adult situations. You get what I'm saying?
Well, they don't have to go into the adult situation. They're pretty much volunteering, like little kids would do foolishly. And they do explain why it is that they have to be in adult bodies, because from a kid's body you can't grow, and then they would have to but then they would also have to like transplant them, over into like at least 4 or 5 times through new bodies. And I don't know if the consciousness will be able to take that sort of transfer.
I get that. I'm just trying to say, just as a viewer, I'm like, please don't put these little kids, in adult. This is what is it? A MA? What's the rating for this movie? This show? It is.
Oh, so wait a minute. So what are you worried about? You worried about the kids like fighting aliens in these adult bodies?
I'm worried about them doing, showing blood and all that type of stuff, and
Showing what?
destruction of these characters, the adult bodies.
You don't want the kids being killed by the alien.
Okay, look, you got to separate that. Once the kid is in an adult body, they're an adult. That's the end of that. That's how this stuff works. Once the kid is in an adult body, they're an adult. That's Captain Marvel Jr. That's Captain Marvel. Okay, that's He-Man. You're an adult. Nobody. That's it. That's it. It becomes. I understand too because of the time period that we're living in, but you can't square it any other way. You just cannot square it any other way. You're in an adult body. You're an adult. It can't be, I'm in an adult body, but I'm still a kid. No, we all saw Big with Tom Hanks, right? You got to get out of the house. You got to get a job. And guess what? You're going to get a girlfriend. You're going to get some nookie as well. You're an adult.
Okay. So, I mean, what do you guys think of the whole look at the whole series? I mean, it looks as though they put a lot of money into this.
They did. You saw that trailer, that opening trailer they had for the whole series? That's what got me into this. I was like, wow, they didn't look like they didn't spare any money to make this good. This is going to be a good series. I think, see, I don't know when they started this. I don't know when they started this, when the development dates, what the development date is for this. But if they looked and they saw the return that they got for a series like Shogun that put in the money just for the costuming, because that's where most of their money had to go. So if they looked and saw the return that they got and saw the reception, the ratings, they were like, okay, so we can't go skimping on this particular budget for the story that we're going to tell. We've got to have these things to make this world believable. And they did not spare, they didn't spare a cent. It doesn't look like they went over. They set up things very, very well. Very, very well in that. Very, very well.
And I hope that it's a connection universe with the other alien stuff that they're doing and Predator stuff that they're doing too, because I think they've done a really good job of making these characters, these franchises work. I mean, from the Prey movie to the Alien movie to the
you're going left right now.
I think it's
I don't see
Prey and Bad Blood.
No, we gotta as much as everybody else loved Prey, I did not. I don't ever want to hear about that movie again. But I don't see how you connect this unless they're gonna try to connect the whole synthezoid thing with the synthezoid that's helping the Predator in the Badlands movie. Otherwise, I don't really see a lot of ways to connect this because the Predators are aliens from a different planet. The only time they come into play in this story is somehow there's a human being, there's a Predator, and there's an alien. It just doesn't work any other way.
Yeah. I mean, what characters would you want to connect, though? I mean, we don't need a rest.
I'm just saying the very fact that they're continuing in characters, I guess, franchises more like us. We're not actually seeing the same characters, the movie. I'm just glad that they continue. I think that these are great franchises, the Predators and the Aliens, and I'm glad that Disney or Fox is finally pushing them through again. I mean, with more than just one thing after a while, they're coming out with more and more product out there. I think there's an audience, and this is a great example of these are not huge. Well, this one is going to be a lot of money, but traditionally with Fox, these were not huge. These things did not cost a huge amount of money. They were low cost horror, sci-fi type of things that they were doing.
Alien?
Now,
yeah. I don't think that first Alien was definitely cost effective.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And then once they go, the second movie they had James Cameron on, so a little bit more money. But James Cameron, if you look at that film, he had stuff there that he had already pretty much utilized with like the Terminator. If you look at some of the designs and such, so it was like, okay, we know how to do this. Okay, we know how to do this. So I still think that one was very cost effective and also, very, very, and also, made a good amount of buck for them. But by that time, now Aliens is officially a franchise. So
it says it cost $10 million to make the first one. It brought it over almost $190 million.
Right.
But that for the time was a 10 million compared to what movies?
All right, so a great example now, the more
Hold on,
recent
hold on. What was the budget on the second movie?
17 million.
17.
7 million
So
more.
that's great. So for all the extra additives, it was only 7 million more.
Well, I'm saying for the time, we had to look at what other movies at that time were made in the price. Like,
Get it. So by the 92, when they do the third movie, it's 55 million. They brought in 158 million. By Alien Resurrection 97, it cost 60 million. They brought in 160 million. But then the big jump was in 2012 when they did Prometheus, and they put in 125 million. They brought in 400 million dollars. And then they brought the budgets back down.
That movie brought in that much money and it was terrible. Wow.
yeah, but definitely the buzz around Prometheus was there. So
That was terrible.
it was terrible, but yeah, the buzz. I mean, I know I was couldn't wait to see it, and it was definitely a letdown. And Covenant, in my mind, was even worse.
Covenant cost 97 million and brought in 238 million. And lastly, cost 80 million and brought in 350. So they've kept it mostly under the budget. You're saying more recent budgets.
You have something you want to share?
I was just going to show the box office so you can.
You should be able to.
All right. So overwhelmingly, Alien is a successful franchise. Yes. It makes back. It's always turned a profit. That's fine.
I would say the thing going into that. I mean, it's definitely the thing is, whereas I think the first one had the feel of a trucker version of Space 2000, 2001: A Space Odyssey. It did have that feel of being out in space, the way Space Odyssey was. But then obviously Aliens had all the action and the gunfire and all the that sort of thing, and different, where one was more slasher, more having the feel of the sci-fi. But anyway, it's this one they definitely wanted to. You see in the first episode they wanted to capture the first one. The second one they want to have the feel of the second, but at the same time these Marines aren't as I mean, they're characters. They're definitely characters, but we're not seeing like it's not Pullman. I forget who passed. Damn it. But all of the cast that they made for the Marines were just incredible. So same like the first movie, the cast that they had found were just incredible actors, and only a couple that I'd seen before. But yeah, they have a lot to do. But the kids are the ones that are kind of carrying it, except for Timothy Olyphant, he kind of turned into your drunk uncle when they're on the ship. He kind of starts talking crazy to them, and he has these weird things that he's saying. So yeah, there's this thing. He's like, all right, so we got this Indian kid. He looks like from the Gap ad, and here's the brother. Why are you crazy? Why you got the crazy part? He's like, my first part when you're in grade school. I had that part, and look, I got a picture of it. You need to cut a shaved cut and then like a line put in. You can't be trying to take your hair and comb it to one side. It don't work. What are you looking up? Nothing? All right, so is that it? Everyone wants
Sounds like it.
I mean, other than Timothy Olyphant, I didn't realize. I said, this guy looks so familiar, but he looks so weird.
They shaved his eyebrows.
And then I saw the commercial for Levi's with Beyonce, and he was in it, and I was like, damn.
What's in the Levi? What's he doing in that thing?
This is the commercial, the Levi commercial that she came out with.
Was he looking old or something? What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying that's when I realized that was Timothy Olyphant. He had one hell of a role in that Levi commercial. Okay. But yeah, hey, guys, if you like what you hear, give us a comment, subscribe, thumbs up. Spin Rack.
We are out.